For someone who constantly insists he hates parties, I sure had exceptional talent at ending up near one. Don't blame me. Blame my night shift at the campus library. If they didn't close early for weekend student bonding, I wouldn't be trudging past the gym at midnight with my backpack sagging like my will to live. And that's when I heard it. A low groan, followed by another. Followed by the loud, dramatic thud of someone hitting the ground like a sack of potatoes. "Great," I muttered. "Either a drunk raccoon or a drunk alpha. Both dangerous, both rabies-prone." Against all my survival instincts, I walked toward the sound, and there he was. Kevin Arden, campus golden boy, rich family, perfect jaw, stupidly broad shoulders. Basically the kind of alpha every Omega threw themselves at, except he wasn't throwing anything right now. He was sprawled on the concrete behind the gym, breathing hard, pupils blown, cheeks flushed crimson. Drugged. "Oh, fantastic," I sighed. "I've rescued a golden retriever with muscles." Kevin's glazed eyes lifted. He blinked slowly, like a toddler learning shapes. Then, he grabbed my wrist. Not lightly, not gently. Nope. He latched on like I was some kind of emotional support animal. "Warm?" he whispered, voice hoarse. "Different." I stared at him. "Sir, I'm a person, not a heated blanket." His grip tightened, and that's when I smelled it. His pheromones spiking out of control. He wasn't just drugged, he was minutes away from an uncontrolled rut. "Oh, hell no," I gasped, kneeling next to him. "You are not going feral on school property. I do not have the emotional capacity for that tonight." His breathing grew uneven. "Charlie," he murmured. I froze. "How the hell do you know my name?" He didn't answer. Instead, he leaned forward, forehead bumping weakly against my stomach. "No, absolutely not. I didn't sign up for cuddling." Okay, sit up," I said, yanking him upright. "Look at me. Breathe. No rutting. Bad alpha. Control your hormones." He tried, failing spectacularly. So I did what I had to do. Regulated my scent. Just enough to stabilize him, not enough to trigger anything dangerous. My mother always said my scent signature was odd. Never sweet enough, never soft enough. Useful for this, though. Kevin inhaled shakily. His muscles relaxed. The red haze in his eyes dimmed. His forehead dropped onto my shoulder. "You're calm," he whispered. "Thanks," I said flatly. "I practice by surviving my family." He made a weak noise, half laugh, half groan. I dragged his heavy alpha body across the lawn until I reached the infirmary door and kicked it repeatedly with impressive annoyance. The night nurse nearly fainted when she saw who I'd brought. I dumped him on the bed with all the gentleness of someone dropping off a package return. "You're welcome," I muttered. His hand reached toward me again, blindly searching. "Stay," he whispered. And for 1 second, just one, I felt something tug inside me. But then I remembered who he was, and who I was. "Baby, I can't even stay in conversations," I said, pulling away. "Good luck." I left before he could say anything else. The next morning, I made the deeply regrettable decision to check on him. Not because I cared. No. Because I suspected the nurse would faint again. Kevin was sitting up, shirt rumpled, hair messy, eyes clearer, but still devastatingly attractive in a way I refused to acknowledge. As soon as he saw me, he said the stupidest sentence ever spoken in human history. "I'll take responsibility." I blinked. For what? Existing? "For last night," he said seriously. "You're an Omega. I should support you." Ah, there it was. The alpha hero complex. "Sir," I said, holding up a hand, "I don't even take responsibility for my own breakfast. Please leave me out of whatever guilt fantasy you're having." He stared at me like I'd slapped him with a baguette. "You're rejecting my help," he said slowly. "Yes, congratulations. You've identified the situation." His eyebrows furrowed. "No Omega has ever refused me." "Well, today's your lucky day. Mark it in your calendar. Historic humiliation, Charlie delivered." His expression went through 7 stages of emotional crisis. "But I want to take care of you." "Why?" I demanded. "Because I happened to be there last night? Because I'm an Omega? Because you feel bad? His throat bobbed. No, because you smelled like... Let me stop you right there, I cut in. Any compliment starting with you smelled is an automatic fail. He actually smiled. Soft, dazed, and I hated that it was pretty. Then he leaned forward, eyes focused entirely on me. Charlie? He said gently. What? You really won't let me look after you? Correct. You really don't want anything from me? Correct. You really don't... I cut him off again. If you complete that sentence, I'm leaving the room. He laughed. A real, warm, amused laugh. Why did it sound illegal? Thank you, he whispered. For what? For not treating me like I'm untouchable. I rolled my eyes. You're welcome. Now stop staring. I can't, he said softly. You're interesting. Tragic taste. Truly. I left the room before he could spiral again. But even as I walked out, I could feel his gaze on my back like a warm hand, and I hated how a tiny part of me didn't hate that. Walking into my house always felt like walking into a reality TV show where I was the background extra nobody cared about. The moment I stepped inside, my mother barely glanced up. Oh, you're home, she said. Leo made omelets. Isn't he wonderful? Leo, my charming, beloved by everyone stepbrother, who everyone preferred over me. He spun around with a grin that was far too oily. There's my favorite person, he said, walking toward me with the swagger of someone who thought he was flirt material. I stepped aside. Favorite? You tried to eat my leftovers yesterday. That's affection, he said confidently. By the way, you should smile more, only for me. I picked up the nearest spoon and threw it at his head. Charlie, my mother snapped. What? I asked. He's been dropped on his head before. I'm just evening things out. Leo laughed because he never took anything seriously. You're so cute when you're angry, he said, leaning closer. I backed away so fast I hit the kitchen counter. Back up. I don't need your pheromones anywhere near me. I'd rather befriend a cactus. Mother sighed dramatically. Why can't you be more like Leo? He never causes trouble. Because I have brain cells, I said sweetly. He only has vibes. Leo pouted. I have feelings, you know. Get a refund. I grabbed my bag and stormed out before someone started another family bonding interrogation. And there was Kevin. He sat on the edge of his bed, running a hand through his hair. He should have been doing homework. Or replying to the 50 texts from Omegas asking if he was okay. Instead, he was thinking about me, about my scent, my voice, my sarcasm that hit like a slap but felt like a hug. He closed his eyes and exhaled. Charlie. Like he was saying a secret he had no right to say. And me? I was already regretting everything that had happened that night, because for the first time in my life, I had the strange, terrible suspicion that someone was actually thinking about me, and worse, I didn't hate it. If there's one thing I learned the next morning, it's this. Rejecting the campus alpha prince once apparently equals social suicide. By the time I reached campus, I could practically feel the gossip physically slapping me in the face. Which, honestly, rude. I didn't even get coffee yet. Some beta girls pointed at me. A group of alpha athletes whispered. And a pair of Omega fanboys looked at me like I'd kicked their puppy. All because Kevin, the golden statue sculpted from money, genetics, and probably protein shakes, got rejected. Meanwhile, I was just trying to survive my 8 a.m. class. But Kevin? Oh no. Apparently he was not okay. I overheard it as I passed the courtyard, his voice unmistakable, deep enough to cause internal damage. Kevin, annoyed and dramatic, snapped, He didn't reject me, he... escaped. I nearly tripped. Escaped? Sir, what am I, a convict? Did I flee the crime scene? Then one of his friends laughed, a very obnoxious laugh. One friend teased, Bro, the campus alpha prince got dumped before he even started dating. Another snorted, Big L of the century. A third added, Should we buy flowers for your broken heart? Broken heart? I literally helped him and told him not to give me money. How did we jump from that to heartbreak? Kevin, of course, responded like the unnecessarily dramatic alpha he was. Kevin, quiet but stubborn, muttered, I'm gonna find him again. I froze on the walkway, and in that moment, I swear he sensed me. His head snapped in my direction like a wolf catching a scent. Cue me turning around so fast I almost dislocated my neck. Nope, not today. Charlie does not deal with clingy alphas before caffeine. I strutted away like a man on a mission, my mission being stay alive and avoid beautiful problems. By lunch, the rumors were loud enough to make me want to retire from life. A group of Omegas cornered me near the lockers. One Omega girl gasped, "Charlie, is it true?" I muttered, "If it's about my grades, no." She pressed, "No! I mean, did you actually reject Kevin? That Kevin? Hot, rich, captain of everything Kevin?" I sighed. I snapped, "I didn't reject him. I simply upgraded him to the ignore list." Shocked gasps. One beta clutched his chest like I'd delivered a fatal blow. One beta asked, "But why would you ignore someone like that?" I replied, "Because I'm allergic to chaos and muscles." More whispers, more awe, more confusion. I walked off dramatically, because if they were going to treat me like a legend, I might as well act like one. My phone buzzed. 3 times. Then 10. I already knew who it was before even looking. Leo, my stepbrother. Professional snake. Family's treasure. Everyone's favorite. His messages were, as usual, disturbing. Leo texted, "Miss seeing you smile, baby brother. Want to come to my room tonight? We can talk. I bet you rejected Kevin because you'd rather have me." I gagged so hard I nearly threw my phone. Why was I forced to share a house with a walking red flag? I replied, I typed no, and also no, an extra no just in case. Then blocked him for 10 minutes out of self-care. Avoiding Kevin was tiring. Avoiding Leo was spiritual warfare. All I wanted was to clock in at my cafe job, serve overpriced coffee, and pretend my life wasn't a dramatic novel. My shift started at 4 p.m. By 4:03 p.m., my manager begged me to smile. By 4:05 p.m., I threatened to quit. At 4:10 p.m., I saw a tall, suspiciously familiar man in a hoodie sitting at the far corner table like a spy. I froze mid-pour. No way. No freaking way. Kevin, the Alpha Prince, Mr. Money, the man whose shampoo probably cost more than my rent, was sitting in my cafe, pretending to be anonymous in a hoodie and glasses. Bad disguise. Horrible. 10-10 obvious. He had one elbow on the table, staring at the menu like it contained ancient wisdom. Then, very quietly, he whispered to himself. He, soft and mesmerized, murmured, "He's sunlight. Why does he shine when he shouldn't?" "Sir, please." It's illegal to whisper things like that in public. My heart is weak. My life insurance is non-existent. I walked to his table with the deadliest customer service smile known to man. I warned, "We don't allow stalking on the premises, or hoodies indoors." Kevin lifted his head, his eyes lighting up like he'd found a missing puzzle piece. He, soft and reverent, breathed, "Charlie," I replied, "Yes, the Omega who escaped." A tiny smile tugged on his lips. He added, "You overheard." I scoffed. It's hard not to overhear when the campus royalty throws a tantrum about me in public. He leaned forward slightly, voice dropping lower, warmer. He explained, "I wasn't throwing a tantrum. I was concerned." I quipped, "For who? Yourself? Your ego? The economy?" His smile widened. He actually laughed, quiet, but real. And I hated that it sounded nice. "I came to see you." I raised a brow. I muttered, "Congrats. You succeeded. Now leave." He didn't leave. Of course not. Instead, he studied me with those ridiculous eyes like I was the only thing in the room worth looking at. He asked softly, "You really don't want anything from me?" "I want a raise and a nap, neither of which you can provide." His jaw tightened slightly. Every Omega wants something. Support, money, protection, status. But you... I interrupted. "I want you to order a coffee or get out before my boss fires me." He blinked. Then, like a love-struck idiot, he murmured, "You're extraordinary." I nearly threw the menu at him, but before I could, the cafe door opened. Leo walked in, my stepbrother, in my workplace. smiling like a wolf discovering a wounded rabbit. He spotted me immediately and sauntered over, leaning close, too close. Leo teased, "There you are, Charlie, running away from me again?" I opened my mouth to tell him to choke on a napkin, but Kevin stood up. Not walked, not rose, stood like an alpha in full territorial mode. Soft eyes gone. Gentle voice gone. Hood falling back as he stepped between us. Kevin growled, cold and lethal, "Don't touch him." Leo scoffed, "Big mistake." Leo shot back, "And who are you? His new owner?" "Owner? Please, someone incarcerate him." Kevin didn't even flinch. His voice, dangerously calm, cut through. "No, but if he wanted one, it wouldn't be you." I spat out a laugh I didn't mean to. Leo glared at me. Kevin stepped closer to him, aura sharp as knives. He commanded, "Leave! Now!" Leo hesitated, but Kevin's alpha pressure was nothing to joke about. He left with a glare and a slam of the door. Silence filled the cafe. I stared. Kevin stared. A beta student in the corner stared and quietly texted someone, probably, "The alpha prince is fighting for a cafe boy help." Finally, Kevin turned to me. His voice softened again, melting into something warm. He said gently, "You shouldn't deal with him alone." I rolled my eyes. I muttered, "I don't need pity." He stepped closer, close enough that his scent, clean, warm, stupidly addictive, brushed against me. He whispered gently, "It's not pity. I just don't like seeing you hurt." And my traitor heart did a small, unnecessary flip. I shoved the notepad at him. I grumbled, "Order your coffee, Kevin." He smiled slowly. He promised, "As long as you're the one making it." I gave up, completely. Because this alpha, this stubborn, persistent, ridiculously romantic alpha, he was trouble. And for the first time, I wasn't sure I minded. The universe needs to take a break from messing with me. I had just finished my cafe shift, exhausted, sticky with caramel syrup, smelling like a scented candle called overworked employee. I just wanted to go home, shower, and ignore my entire family. Then I stepped into the alley behind the cafe and immediately regretted existing. 3 girls and 2 alphas, Kevin's admirers, his personal fan club, the Kevin is our king cult, stood there like they were auditioning for a villain squad. Great. Just what I needed. More side quests. One girl stepped forward, flipping her hair dramatically. She said, "You're Charlie, right?" I sighed. "Unfortunately." They didn't appreciate the honesty. Another girl narrowed her eyes. "You rejected Kevin." I said, "Bold of you to assume rejecting him wasn't my best life decision." A gasp. A dramatic hand over a chest. Someone whispered, "He's brave." Someone else whispered, "He's stupid." One of the alpha athletes stepped forward, cracking his knuckles like he thought he was scary. The alpha said, "Stay away from Kevin. You don't deserve to talk to him." I deadpanned, "Trust me, if I had a choice, I'd avoid every man taller than a fridge." They didn't like that either. The girl in front shoved my shoulder. Not hard, just annoyingly. Girl said, "You're embarrassing him." I said, "Sweetheart, Kevin embarrasses himself just fine by breathing too dramatically." Another shove. Another glare. Alpha boy growled, "You think you're special? You think a guy like Kevin actually wants someone like you?" I blinked. "Oh, I get it now. This is jealousy. Cute. Didn't know the Kevin fan club had a gang division." The athlete grabbed my wrist. Bad decision. Very bad. Before he could blink, I twisted his arm, stepped in, and threw him flat onto the pavement. He wheezed like a deflated balloon. Everyone froze. I smiled sweetly. "Oops! My hand slipped." Another boy rushed at me. I sidestepped and kicked him in the knee. Down he went. 2 girls screamed. One guy cursed. Someone said, "Holy crap, he fights like a raccoon." Then, a familiar scent hit the alley. Warm. Clean. Alpha. Dangerously soft. Oh no. Kevin. I didn't turn around. He was already there. Silent. radiating alpha pressure like a furnace. He must have been about to step in, ready to fight for me. But then he stopped, because he saw the carnage. His admirers on the floor. Me standing there like a tiny, angry barista who just committed light assault. Kevin said softly in shock. Sunlight. What did you do? I shrugged. They slipped, repeatedly, onto my fists. He blinked, several times, like he was recalculating everything he believed about omegas. He finally walked forward, slow, controlled, but his scent, that warm vanilla smoke thing he does, hit the bullies like a tidal wave. 2 of them stumbled back immediately. Kevin wasn't even yelling, not even glaring, just existing, and apparently that was enough to terrify people. He looked down at the alpha guy on the floor, then at me, then back at the guy. He said, very politely but very murderously, "Don't ever touch him again." The alpha stammered, We weren't going to..." He cut him off, voice soft but lethal. "You put your hands on him. That's already too much." The guy nodded rapidly, probably questioning every life choice that brought him here. The girls scrambled to help him up, dragging him away. One of them hissed at me. "Freak!" I waved. "Bye. Get well soon." When they finally disappeared, he turned fully to me. He stared, really stared. "Charlie, you fought them." I raised an eyebrow. "Yes? Did you want to see a magic trick instead?" He stepped closer, voice dropping lower, warmer. He murmured, "I came to protect you, but you protected yourself before I even arrived." I snorted. "Sorry to disappoint your hero complex." He shook his head slowly, gaze fixed on me like he couldn't look away. He whispered, "You didn't disappoint me. You impressed me." My stomach flipped. I hated it. He stepped even closer, lowering his head so we were eye level. "You were shaking earlier when Leo grabbed you, but here..." His eyes softened. "You weren't scared at all." I muttered, "That's because your fanboys are idiots. Leo is a different breed of pest." He went still. "Does he flirt with you often?" I instantly regretted talking. "Forget I said anything," I deflected, waving my hands dramatically, but he didn't forget. His expression darkened like a storm rolling in. He growled, "Tell me what he did." "Absolutely not. You look like you're about to destroy a city block." His jaw clenched. "Charlie..." I cut him off. "Nope. We are not doing the angry alpha growl arc right now." He exhaled, long and slow, clearly fighting the urge to go hunt my stepbrother down and break his limbs. He said quietly, "I hate knowing he hurt you." I rolled my eyes. "I don't need an escort, or a guardian, or whatever weird alpha fantasy you're having." He paused. Then softly, "I don't want to protect you because you're weak, Charlie." His voice dipped lower, rawer. "I want to protect you because you're important." My heart did something stupid, so I immediately ruined the moment. "Well, stop wanting that. I bite." He actually smiled. He murmured, "Then I'll learn how to handle the bites." I almost threw a trash can at him. Then he followed. Of course he did, because my life is a comedy. He offered, "Let me drive you home." I snapped, "No. It's late." I grumbled, "So is my patience." He insisted, "I can't let you walk alone after that." "Can't or won't." He paused, and then softly, honestly, he whispered, "Won't." Ugh. Why was he like this? Why did he say things like that with such sincerity that I wanted to slap him and kiss him at the same time? I kept walking. He kept following. He said, "Charlie." I muttered, "Stop caring." He actually stopped walking. I could feel his confusion behind me like a physical weight. I turned around. His eyebrows were slightly furrowed, eyes warm but hurting. "Why would you say that?" "Because I don't want your money. I don't want your care. I don't want your stupid alpha responsibility." He looked like I'd stabbed him. "Is that all you think I feel? Responsibility?" I crossed my arms. "That's what you said the first night. I'll take responsibility." as if I needed your guilty conscience. He stepped closer, slow and deliberate. I'm not guilty. I'm worried. I said, don't be. He stared at me for a long moment, eyes tracing every line of my face like he was memorizing me. Why won't you let anyone care for you? My breath caught, but I kept my tone flat. Because no one ever meant it, the world went quiet. Even the streetlights seemed to dim. His expression softened into something devastating, something gentle, open, and quietly aching. I do. My heart tripped over itself, but I forced my face neutral. I don't want pity. He shook his head. It's not pity. It's you. You make me want to protect something for the first time in my life. I swallowed. Hard. Well, stop wanting. He took a breath, stepped back just enough to give me space. Not pushing, not forcing, just waiting. Okay, but I'm still walking you home. I groaned. You're unbelievable. He smiled softly. Only for you. I won't leave you because I know you don't know how love felt. You don't even understand your own feelings. I hated how warm that made me feel. So I turned around and continued walking. Kevin 2 steps behind me, silent, steady, not touching, not crowding, not pitying, just there. And somehow, that made it harder to breathe knowing someone actually want me to feel what love is. There are 3 things in life I am absolutely certain of. 1, my stepbrother Leo is allergic to minding his own business. 2, my family should win awards for most heartless household. 3, Kevin, the campus golden alpha, has decided to wage psychological warfare on me. And by psychological warfare, I mean he is trying, very aggressively, to make me laugh. It starts in class the next day. I slide into my usual back corner seat, preparing for a lecture on economic theory and life choices that will never be economically viable for me. I'm halfway through pulling out my notebook when someone sits beside me. Not near me. Right next to me. I don't have to look to know who it is. His scent hits first, warm and clean like cedar wood after rain, subtle but stupidly comforting. Kevin murmurs, "Morning, Charlie." I respond with the most unenthusiastic humph the world has ever heard. He smiles. I can hear it in his voice when he says, "You're in a good mood today. You only sound half murderous." I mutter under my breath, "Stop breathing on me." He laughs softly, not offended at all, which is exactly the problem. Then he does it, the note, the first of many. I look down at my notebook and there it is, tucked under my pen. A folded square of pastel yellow paper with the corners rounded perfectly. I open it. You look good today, and also every day. Just thought you should know. My face goes warm before my brain can stop it. I close the note, open it again, then glare at it like it personally insulted me. Kevin leans closer, close enough that his breath grazes my ear, and whispers, "Did it work? Did you smile?" I deadpan, "No." Lies. I can feel the traitorous curl of my lips trying to form. He tilts his head. "Can I bribe you? A joke? A cupcake? My soul?" I hiss. "Pay attention to the lecture." "I am," he whispers. "I'm paying attention to you." I nearly choke on my own air. Everyone in class is staring at us, which, great, just what my already collapsing social reputation needs. I bury my face in my notebook. Kevin chuckles and whispers another stupid joke during the professor's explanation of supply and demand. "If sarcasm were a commodity, you'd be a billionaire, Charlie." I whisper harshly, "Shut up before I sell you as a commodity." He laughs harder. And the worst part? I smile into my notebook where no one can see. If day 1 of Kevin's operation Make Charlie Laugh was bad, day 2 is worse, because today he brings lunch, not 1 lunch. 2. He sets a neatly packed bento box in front of me and says, "I didn't know what you liked, so I guessed based on your vibe." My vibe? I raise an eyebrow. What vibe? I pretend I don't like cute and delicious things, but secretly do vibe. I blink. You think I'm cute? He meets my eyes without hesitation. Yes. And just like that, my brain short-circuits. I try to shove the bento back at him, but he pushes it gently toward me. "Eat before I get worried." You're always worried, I mumble. His eyes soften. I worry because you won't let anyone else do it. I shove rice into my mouth so I don't have to answer that. So we eat together. Every day after that. Every day he drops a new compliment like they're accidental, but they are absolutely strategic. One day I sneeze. Kevin looks at me like the sneeze was a holy event. That was adorable. I almost throw my water bottle at him. Another day he watches me write and says, "Your handwriting is so neat. It matches your face." I freeze mid-sentence. What does that even mean? It means everything about you is pretty. I choke. Again. This man is hazardous to my health. Then, the real attack. He leans over during lunch, resting his chin on his hand, watching me with warm eyes. "You know," he says, "your sarcasm is my favorite spice." I stop chewing. "Did you just call me seasoning?" "Premium seasoning," he corrects. "The kind you hide so no one else can steal." I throw a napkin at his face. He catches it and laughs like I gave him a gift. He isn't done. Not even close. Because one afternoon when I accidentally smile, at something truly dumb he said, he gasps dramatically. "You smiled. Charlie, you smiled. This is historic." My ears burn. It was a muscle twitch. Don't get excited. He leans closer, grins slow and warm. "If you laugh again, I'm proposing." My soul leaves my body. I smack his arm with my notebook. He laughs anyway. Of course, the universe gets bored when things go too well. It happens one night after our late study session. I'm packing up my notes when a drunk student stumbles out of a frat house nearby. He's swaying, glassy-eyed, and his scent is all over the place. He walks straight toward me, fantastic. I step back, trying to avoid him, but he lurches in my direction again, and before I can even think of elbowing him in the nose, Kevin is suddenly there. Not walking, not running, materializing. 1 second, I'm alone. The next, I'm engulfed in the warmth of Kevin's arm pulling me behind him. His whole body goes tense, shoulders squared, voice low and sharp as a blade. "Back off," Kevin says. The drunk guy blinks, confused, then mutters something unintelligible and wanders away. Kevin doesn't move until the guy is out of sight. Then he turns to me, eyes wide with worry. "Are you okay?" I smack his arm with my notebook again, lightly. "If you treat me like a damsel, I will beat you with this notebook." He smiles, relieved, gentle, too warm for an alpha who should absolutely not care about me this much. "You can beat me however you want," he says softly. "Just don't walk away." My heart does the stupid thing again, the thumping, flipping, melting thing. I look away fast. "Why are you like this?" I mutter. "Why do you say things like that?" He steps closer. Not too close. Just enough that I can feel his calmness settle over me like a blanket. "Because it's true," he says. "And because I like seeing you flustered." I freeze. I'm not flustered. You're blushing. I'm overheating from embarrassment. He smiles, eyes soft. "Then I'll cool you down. Just stay next to me." I look at him. Really look at him. The alpha everyone loves. The alpha who could have anyone. The alpha who has decided, for some ridiculous reason, that I am the only one he wants to sit beside, laugh with, protect. Kevin breathes out gently. "You don't have to let me in," he says quietly. "But I'm here, as long as you want me." I look away, trying to hide the traitorous warmth in my chest. "We'll see," I mumble. But when we walk back to the dorms, I don't move away from his side, not even once. I've had a lot of bad days. The kind where your coffee tastes like burnt despair, your boss thinks flexible schedule means be my emotional support staff, and your family pretends you're a ghost unless they need something. But today? Today looked me dead in the eye and said, "Sweetie, you haven't seen anything yet." I was taking out garbage bags behind the cafe, muttering to myself like a well-adjusted adult. I swear if one more customer asks for extra hot soy almond foam oat matcha with a shot of oxygen, I'm... Then I smelled him. Pine something cologne and entitlement. Leo. Of course. He stepped out from behind the dumpster like he was starring in a low-budget villain reveal. Charlie, he said in that honeyed way he used when he wanted something. You've been ignoring my messages. I ignore everyone's messages, I deadpanned. Don't take it personally. Or do. I don't care. Leo walked closer, smiling like he owned the air I breathed. You should come home. Father's talking about removing you from the family registry. I can convince him otherwise. Wow, I said. Bribery, emotional manipulation, and fake concern. A triple combo. You practicing for the Toxic Boyfriend Olympics? He wasn't amused. He leaned forward, hand grabbing my arm. Charlie, you should at least act like you appreciate me. I'm the only one who... And then it happened. He pushed his scent at me. Deliberately. Aggressively. A forced dominance cloud. It hit me like a punch to the lungs. My knees dipped. My pulse jumped. Heat, real heat, shot under my skin like wildfire. Ugh, Leo, stop, I gasped. He smirked. Didn't know you were this sensitive. I shoved him so hard he stumbled back, but he laughed, and that made it worse. Heat clawed up my spine, suffocating, dizzying. Not like this. Not here. Not because of him. I staggered away, heart thundering, vision blurring at the edges. Leo called after me. Come back, Charlie. Yeah, sure. Let me just combust first. By the time I reached the dorm building, my steps were uneven and everything smelled too sharp, like every scent dialed up to 100. I slammed myself into the nearest empty room, some unused club space, locked the door, and slid down against it. Heat surged again, painful, prickling, overwhelming. This wasn't supposed to happen for weeks. I'd been stable, careful, perfectly fine, well, emotionally traumatized and underslept, but physically fine. My hands shook as I pressed them to my chest, trying to breathe. Okay, Charlie, think. Call the admin office, call the clinic. Call literally anyone except the one person your instincts keep screaming for. My vision blurred again. My whole body shivered. And then my phone slipped from my fingers. Before I could stop myself, muscle memory dialed him. Kevin. Of course it was him. The ringing barely hit twice. His voice came through immediately, tense, breathless. Charlie? What's wrong? Where are you? I swallowed, the words coming out broken and humiliating. Pete, please. Come. Dead silence, then a sound like someone running. I'm coming, he said, voice low and steady. Don't move. Don't you dare stay alone. I'm coming to you. The phone slipped from my hand as another wave of heat ripped through me, and I curled forward, shaking. Minutes felt like hours. My body burned, my mind blurred. Every instinct in me screamed for an alpha scent, his scent, because somehow my biology had chosen violence and romance simultaneously. I don't know when the door handle rattled, or when Kevin growled something on the other side. But the next second, the lock clicked, the door swung open, and Kevin was there. He filled the doorway like a storm, shoulders tense, eyes sharp, breathing hard like he sprinted the entire campus. Charlie. His voice dropped, soft and dangerous at once. I tried for sarcasm. I swear I did, but all that left my mouth was a shaky, took you. Long enough. He knelt immediately, pulling me gently against him, arms sliding under me like I weighed nothing. You're burning, he murmured. Who did this to you? His scent washed over me, warm cedar and something sweet, and my body loosened involuntarily, traitorously. I buried my face in his chest because breathing his scent felt like oxygen returning. He held me tighter. I've got you, I'm here, breathe, sweetheart. Sweetheart, oh, fantastic. I was dying and being sweet-talked. Don't call me sweetheart, I muttered into his shirt. He huffed a laugh, while I was having my biological meltdown. You could be on fire, and you'd still glare at me, he whispered. God, you're incredible. I wanted to kick him, but unfortunately I was too busy melting. He lifted me effortlessly, one arm under my knees, the other cradling my back. I yelped because dignity is important even when overheating. Put me down. No, he said simply. No? That's it? Just no? His jaw tightened like he was barely holding himself back from something primal. I'm not letting you suffer alone. Not ever again. He carried me through the hall, ignoring the stairs, ignoring everything, his scent wrapped like a shield around me. My head fell against his neck despite my best efforts not to. It was warm there. Safe. And Kevin's voice, soft and pained, broke the quiet. I should have protected you sooner. Another heat spike hit, and I accidentally curled closer. He sucked in a breath sharply. Charlie, he murmured, tell me who hurt you. Not now, I muttered. I can't think, and you'll go all alpha explosion. I'll explode later then, he whispered. Right now, I'm here for you, only you. Something clenched in my chest. We reached the health dorm suite, and he nudged the door open with his foot, carrying me to the bed like I was made of glass. He lay me down gently, but the second he tried to step back, I grabbed his sleeve. Pure instinct. His breath hitched. I'm not going anywhere, he promised immediately, sitting beside me so I wouldn't panic. His hand brushed my cheek, thumb stroking lightly. You called me, he whispered. Out of everyone. You called me. Don't. Read into it, I muttered. My brain is soup. He smiled, soft and devastating. I'll take Soup Charlie over anyone else in the world. I glared at him. He looked like he adored me anyway. Then he leaned closer, forehead touching mine, his scent easing the worst of the heat, grounding me. Rest, he murmured. I'm right here, sweetheart. You say that again? I mumbled weakly. And I'll bite you. His voice deepened, warm and teasing. If you bite me, Charlie, I might fall in love on the spot. My heart flipped so violently I nearly ascended. Kevin exhaled shakily and wrapped me carefully in his arms. And for the first time in a long time, I wasn't cold. I wasn't alone. I wasn't unwanted. I was held, taken care of, even if I refused to admit how much that meant. Especially to him. The moment he attempted to move his arms away from me, I clung harder. A messy, needy whimper left me before I could stop it. He froze and swallowed hard. All right, he whispered. I won't go anywhere. The pheromones in the room thickened until every breath felt like swallowing liquid heat. But Kevin didn't push dominance. He released just enough scent to cradle me, to soothe the sharp edges, to cool the fire without drowning me in it. That's what made it worse. He was being gentle. Too gentle. And my traitor of a body loved every second. He sat on the edge of the bed, his hand smoothing damp hair off my forehead, his thumb brushing my cheek in slow, grounding strokes. The world steadied a little. Not much. But enough for me to see him clearly through the haze. Flushed cheeks, worry-hard jaw, pupils blown with instinct he was desperately fighting. Why was he fighting? Why was he holding back so hard? I reached up and touched his face. Not gracefully, mind you. More like my hand floated up without permission and cupped his cheek. His breath caught. Charlie, he murmured. Why does your scent... My voice trembled. Make it worse and better at the same time? Because it did. His scent soothed me, but it also made my heat flare painfully sweet. Desperate, needy. My thumb brushed his jaw before my brain could intervene, and he closed his eyes, sucking in air like he was drowning on dry land. Careful, he whispered. I'm trying very hard to behave. I noticed. I leaned closer despite everything. Annoyingly well, actually. His eyes snapped open. I don't know who moved first. Maybe we both did. Our lips almost touched. Almost. But Kevin inhaled sharply and pressed his forehead to mine instead, trembling. Charlie, not like this. My heat pulsed hard enough to knock the breath out of me. My knees wobbled, body bowing into his by instinct, pulling him with me. He followed, bracing his arms on either side of my head, caging me gently against the bed. His weight hovered over me, not crushing, not trapping, just there. Warm and steady and infuriatingly comforting. I wanted him closer. I arched up slightly, breath hot against his throat. He groaned, quiet, pained, devastating. My voice came out slurred with heat and sarcasm, a lethal combo. You're holding back. You act like you want me. His eyes darkened instantly. Wanting you isn't the problem, sweetheart. His voice was gravel and heat. Wanting you the right way is. Oh, that line should have been illegal. Heat slammed through me again, sharper. I grabbed his shirt and gasped into his collarbone. His scent wrapped around us like warm smoke, thick and steady. And Kevin held me together with nothing but his breath, his hands, and terrifyingly gentle restraint. I clung to him like gravity itself had chosen his body as the center of the universe. Every shaky inhale filled my head with his scent. Every gentle exhale whispered safety against my skin. He stroked down my back slowly, grounding every trembling part of me. When his lips brushed my temple, my whole body jolted. Not a kiss, just a touch. A maddening, soft, perfect touch. But then he kissed my jaw. Soft, careful, butterfly light. My breath hitched. He kissed a spot beneath my ear. My hips arched on instinct. Kevin? I gasped. Don't stop! His breath trembled against my throat. I'll only go as far as you want, he whispered. And right now, your body is begging. But I want your mind begging too. I made a sound that might have been a curse, or a plea, or a threat. Unclear. Kevin lifted my face gently between his hands, forcing my hazy eyes to meet his. Look at me, he whispered. I did. Barely. Blearily. Heat-hazed and undone. His thumb brushed my cheekbone, tender and worshipful. I've wanted you since the night you saved me. My breath stuttered. You're not like the others. You never were. My heart twisted painfully. I don't want your body because you're in heat. His forehead pressed to mine, breath mixing with mine. I want you, Charlie. All of you. The sarcasm, the stubbornness, the sweetness you pretend you don't have. Something inside me broke, softly. Not shattered, just unlocked. I leaned up and kissed him. Soft at first, then desperate. He froze for one heartbeat. One. And then he kissed me back, slowly, deepening it, one hand on my waist, the other cradling the back of my head. Warm, intense, terrifyingly gentle. We pulled back breathless, foreheads touching, chests rising unevenly. Stay with me until morning, I whispered, voice cracking. Please. He didn't even hesitate. He lay beside me, wrapping me against his chest with an arm firm enough to anchor the world. His lips brushed the top of my hair. I'm not going anywhere, he whispered into me, into my pulse, into every burning part of my skin. You're mine to protect now. Heat finally eased, dulled, softened into something warm instead of scorching. I fell asleep in his arms. His scent wrapped around me like a promise, and everything changed. The morning on campus was suspiciously peaceful, which obviously meant something chaotic was going to happen. Because that's just how my life works. We'd barely stepped onto the main walkway when Kevin reached out and laced his fingers with mine. Boldly. Blatantly. Like he owned the entire oxygen supply of the campus and was generously sharing some with me. I stared down at our intertwined hands. Are you holding my hand? I asked, deadpan. Kevin didn't even blink. I'm not just holding it, he said softly, tightening his grip. I'm keeping it. Ugh. The worst part? My chest actually fluttered. Meanwhile, the entire student population gasped like we had committed a federal crime. People slowed their steps, stared, whispered, and one girl actually dropped her iced coffee. I muttered under my breath, great, wonderful, perfect. My life is officially a circus. Do we hand out tickets or do people just help themselves? Kevin leaned closer, voice a warm rumble near my ear. Let them watch, he said. You're with me. And then, loudly, clearly, proudly, he said to literally everyone, he's with me. I felt my soul exit my body. A guy from my class looked at us with big eyes and whispered, Holy shti, he said it like a declaration. I shot him a glare. Do you want popcorn too, or... More whispering, more stares. Someone squealed. I groaned. Kevin, congratulations. You've successfully turned me into trending gossip. He squeezed my hand again. If claiming you publicly causes noise, then let it. I want everyone to know exactly where you belong. Okay, wow. That hit somewhere deep I wasn't prepared for. I wanted to shove him. I wanted to kiss him. I settled for glaring at him like he had emotionally inconvenienced me. Next time, warn me before creating a social earthquake, I muttered. Kevin just smiled, the stupid soft one that disarms my sarcasm like it's made of wet tissue. Noted, he said, but I'd still do it again. Damn him. My house felt smaller than usual the moment we reached the gate. Probably because stress makes everything shrink. Lungs, sanity, optimism, all of it. I inhaled deeply. Okay, just a casual visit. Casual trauma, casual emotional damage, no big deal. Kevin rested a hand on my lower back. I'm right here, he murmured. Good, I said, because you're probably going to witness a family emotional apocalypse. He didn't flinch. I'll handle whatever comes. Bold confidence. Fine. Let him try. We stepped inside. My mother was in the living room, my father in his usual chair, and my stepbrother, the reason my blood pressure has trust issues, was leaning against the wall like he owned gravity. Their eyes flicked to Kevin, and then to our intertwined hands. My mother gasped. My father frowned. My stepbrother's eyes widened before pure anger snapped into place. What is that supposed to mean? He spat. It means I have a hand and someone is holding it, I said. Congratulations, you've unlocked basic observation skills. He took a step forward, jaw clenched. Charlie, what are you doing? Why is he here? Why are you... Kevin stepped past me. The entire room shifted like someone had changed the atmosphere settings. Kevin's voice was calm, but it carried a weight that made every wall seem to straighten. He's here because he deserves respect, he said. Something this house has failed to give him. My father scoffed. This is a family matter. So why am I treated like discounted furniture? I asked sweetly. My stepbrother glared at me, then at Kevin. Stay out of this. You don't get to interfere. Kevin's jaw tightened, eyes sharp but controlled. He is not your tool, he said, voice low and firm. Not your punching bag, not your entertainment. The room went dead silent. He is mine to protect, Kevin continued, and I'll do it with everything I have. I blinked. Did he really just... Oh God. My stepbrother opened his mouth to argue, but Kevin took one more step forward, subtly positioning himself between me and them. You don't raise your voice at him anymore, Kevin said. You don't guilt him. You don't belittle him. You don't touch him. Those days are over. And if you try to play any dirty tricks on him, especially you, Leo, then don't blame me for not warning you. My heartbeat became an Olympic-level sprinter. My stepbrother sputtered. You can't just take him. He's part of this family. I laughed humorlessly. You only remember that when you need someone to blame. My mother whispered, Charlie, is this what you want? I hesitated. Not because I doubted, but because speaking the truth out loud suddenly felt like a cliff. I swallowed. Yes. Kevin's hand found mine again instantly, a silent anchor. My father's voice snapped. So you're leaving, running away, with an alpha? Kevin answered before I could react. He's not running, he said. He's choosing. I felt something inside me unclench. Something old, something hurt, something tired. For once, someone wasn't apologizing for choosing me. Someone was proud of it. Up in my room, I grabbed a small bag. I didn't need much. I never owned enough to require boxes anyway. Kevin watched me quietly, leaning on the doorframe like he belonged there. You okay? He asked softly. No, I said honestly, tossing a shirt into my bag. But also, yes, and maybe. And also I want to scream. It's complicated. He chuckled. I can hold you through all the complicated parts. I paused. Why did he say things like that? Why did he say them like he meant them? I zipped my bag. Kevin, if you keep saying romantic things, I might accidentally fall harder. Please stop. He walked over and tilted my chin up gently. I'm saying them because they're true, he murmured. Ugh, Stupid Alpha. Stupid feelings. We walked downstairs. My parents stood there with uncertain expressions. Guilt, confusion, maybe regret. My stepbrother scowled but didn't speak. Good. Progress. I didn't do a dramatic goodbye. No long speeches, no emotional monologue. I simply said, I hope one day you understand why I'm choosing myself. And then I walked out. Kevin intertwined our fingers again the second we stepped outside. You're not alone anymore, he said softly. I snorted. I know. You're too loud to ignore. He laughed, a real laugh, the warm kind that makes the world feel less horrible, and leaned in, pressing the gentlest kiss to my lips. I melted. I absolutely, shamefully melted. His forehead rested against mine. I'll make you feel safe, he whispered. Loved, wanted, every day. My voice cracked a little as I muttered. No pressure or anything. He smiled. I can handle it. We walked away together, two silhouettes against the setting sun, my small bag bouncing against my leg, his warm hand locked around mine, and a strange new feeling forming in my chest. Hope. Annoying, inconvenient, warm hope. And, for once, I didn't push it away. I learned how to feel love